Hello, everybody. We have a loaded episode today. I'm going to name a crap ton of crypto that I'm looking at buying, DCAing into, or the bigger one, why I'm watching all these, is to compound my profits. Meaning, when I start taking profits from my spot bags, which is going to happen again probably pretty soon, I'm going to move that into other crypto that either hasn't exploded or had a major retrace, or that I just think is going to move notably more at that time to get even more profits. So, for example, hbar is probably one of the ones that are more likely for me to hit a sell limit next. And the next one's going to be for me when it hits about a 7x from my entry. And at that point, I will remove about 20% of the H bar I have. I will pocket about 10% of that. And the other 10%, I'm going to move somewhere else. So if I already 7x'd some of my profits, I'll put it somewhere else, get another 3 to 10x, and maybe get to do that again. So the crypto I'm going to talk about today are mostly what I'm personally watching to do that with. And there's a lot of them, guys. I'm going to limit down to 12. So I'm going to give 3 crypto in 4 different market cap levels, which I'll define actually almost right now with. And the reason why is which ones I move my profits into will depend a lot on, kind of just said it, right? Like which crypto has really not moved yet, which ones have had a major retrace and is a good re-entry to make some profits from, or just ones that, oh, hey, I think this is going to move again really soon. Let me throw into it. So the market cap categories I have, just for quick explanation, is large cap, moderate cap, small, and micro. So the large caps are $10 billion market cap or higher, right? Moderate is 1 billion market cap to the 10 billion. Right? Small is 100 million to 1 billion, and then micro is anything under 100 million. So with that said, by the end of this video, put down which crypto you like that I put into, ones that you own or would DCA into. And there are a lot of good crypto out there, guys, in all these categories, some more than others. Put down ones that you feel I missed, right? And because if I have enough down here, just like when I've done tier videos of how many multiples I think it will get, I'll do a second video if you guys suggest enough. And if I agree with enough of them, of course. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. I'm going to start with the large caps. I'm going to give only about 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes at most on each of these. And just to give you guys a quick idea so you can do your own research and we can move on so this isn't a stupid long video. So large caps. I want to let this one first, not just because they're large, but these are the crypto that are moving kind of now. They're going to move first, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps, on their way down. So these are also the ones that probably have less time to re-enter versus the other ones, most likely. So let's pull up the charts, let's explain a couple, and move forward. So a very obvious spoiler, I'm choosing Solana. So one, there was only 26 crypto in the category of 10 billion plus, right? All of these are safe bets, all of them. Any of these top 26 are, I'm not going to say they're good choices to compound gains because I just don't agree with that. Like, I don't think XRP is nearly as good right now for multiples as Solana is for the end of this bull run. If you're looking at to buy and hold for 10 years plus, then there's much different argument, right? So Solana, this one is probably going to be the one that has the shortest window, meaning Solana is one of the largest crypto, again, at 128 billion freaking market cap. It's going to have an EFT very likely announced in, was it like October 20th, somewhere around the 3rd week in October, which is going to really make this thing fly, assuming that we get it, which I think we will. So Solana, it runs not all memes, but I mean, if you guys don't know Solana, Google it, put in AI. Solana is a great choice right now. I think it's going to get up to about a 3, maybe a 4x from here. I would say safely about 700 to 750. I know a lot of people are calling for 1,000 to 2,000. Hard for me to believe, but I can always change my mind when I see it happen. So Solana, Great large cap option. Solana was number 6 all market cap size, Avalanche number 15. This might be my favorite crypto I don't currently own. It is heavily undervalued, even at $12 billion market cap, only $30 right now. It has gone up a little bit recently. If we pull here to the last month, it's been starting to get some traction. And this is really all since we've expected a rate cut coming up, which by the time this comes out, we've probably already had. Most of this price action happened when they started talking about a good chance of the rate cut. Right? And then people started buying it. Avalanche started buying it. So what is Avalanche? It's technically a layer 0, but let's call it a layer 1. A lot of projects, a lot of gaming goes through Avalanche. So the better a lot of gaming goes, Avalanche is going to fly up. Between the amount of TVL, the amount of volume that goes through it in 24 hours, like, do you see this number? Trading volume of Avalanche in the last 24 hours is over $1.25 billion, right? And it's only at $12 billion market cap. So the trading volume in 2 weeks is over the entire market cap. One of the major reasons I say that this is undervalued, and I'm very confident in Avalanche. I just haven't wanted to open another position. And I'm strong chance I'm going to leverage this one, but I got to play with the timing a little bit more. Or if this is still under roughly $40 when I start selling my crypto, Avalanche is one of the first ones I'm going to get into, because I see this as a very comfortable 5 to 8x from here. Avalanche. Next up, number 18. We have Hedera hbar right at the 10 billion market cap. So depending on what happens, even while I'm making this video, it might technically drop down to moderate, but we have right here, guys, 10 billion. So it's at 23 cents right now. Hedera is all over the place in the best ways possible. It's floating around less than a quarter. They have a relatively diluted supply. Hedera is in everything. Essentially, every narrative Hedera is in. Its governing council is nuts. It's being looked at as being able to help run CBDCs. Hedera is here to stay. Personally, I think for this cycle, we're looking at about $1.25. This is one that I own. A lot of people are calling $2 to $5. I won't yell BS on $2. I will certainly call BS on 5 for this cycle. Long term, totally different story. But hbar, if you're looking for what I think is a very easy 4 to 5x, dig into a little bit. DYOR. All right, next is the moderate. So these are the $1 billion market cap up to the 10 billion. And there's roughly 85 crypto here. So I could do a whole video on this because there are probably the most good options, in my opinion, in this category. So I'm not going to go through any more than 3, but let's do some quick honorable mentions. I had, I believe it was at least 2 subscribers asked for a video like this. And one of them said, give me some thoughts that's not quant, because they're doing that for long term. Attaboy. So on the honorable mention list, I do have quant. It's my personal favorite, right? That sounds so weird saying I have a favorite crypto. I harass people for saying shit like that. Anyway, other ones to look into, quick honorables: Immutable X, IMX, Render, Caspa, Polygon. Aerodrome, I put on honorable mention mostly just because I've got a decent bag of this one, and this is a list of ones that I am looking at DCAing into and just sharing it with you guys, but Aerodrome is a great one. Ondo, and then Litecoin. I almost put Litecoin on this as a main one, and that is solely because I'm very confident they're going to have an EFT come out by the end of this year, shortly after Solana. I don't really give too much of a rat's ass about what it does. The ETF, I'm keeping an eye on this. This is another strong leverage possibility for me. So which ones do I actually say that I'm looking at? The top 3 here. Filecoin. So I've actually technically started getting a little bit of this. I got a Gemini MasterCard and you can pick rewards for it. No, this is not a shilling. I'm not affiliated in any way. But I do get a little bit of Filecoin every time I use that MasterCard. So I am starting to accumulate this now because I think this is a great price for it. Just last time in the Trump pump, it was about a 3.5, almost 4x. Actually, I think we did hit, not quite, getting close, almost a 4x from here. If you look back at all time, not saying this is where it's going to go, but shows you that there is a precedent of it going much higher in the 168s. I'm not going to call it 191 just due to how sharp that is, but it can get up there. Filecoin is a non-sexy narrative. It's all about storage, but that is a strong requirement for crypto. You got to store a crap ton of information over the cloud and World Wide Web. And Filecoin doesn't have too much competition. There is no Walrus from Sui, which will, at this point, I'm not sure which one's going to outperform, but I'm keeping an eye on this one. It's at a $1.69 billion market cap. Plenty of room still to grow. All right, here's another one. I felt dirty putting this one on the list, but Pump from Pump Fund, guys. I will exercise caution on this one. I think it's going to do very well. It's under a $3 billion market cap. We're at less than a penny at the moment. I believe this is on a lot of the large exchanges, but it is the Pump Fund, which is, for lack of a better term, guys, if you've been on it, you know, but it has a lot of rug pull names, right? I mean, I understand there's more than that, but that's the big thing that it does is pumps through a lot of, it's the casino, or it's one of the major crypto casinos. And that always makes me hesitant with their coin. I understand they're not going to rug pull, but it will be tied into how much other people are buying, selling, and gambling their money on Pump Fund. And that'll be a direct correlation to how well this goes because more profits coming in when people are gambling more. So I think that this one's probably going to move very quickly in both directions compared to most other crypto at its size. It is going on a sharp uptrend. So this isn't one that really I would be looking at the moment as a spot buy. But if you think it's going to go up and hit $1, then if that's your belief, I don't know what you're waiting for. But Pump Fund, I'll keep an eye on to see where it goes throughout the market because I think it's going to be pretty volatile, and I'll keep an eye on good times to possibly get in on this one. So looking on the 1-year chart for my last one in the moderate category is Aptos. Similar story to Avalanche. I think this one is greatly underperforming in price action because it's been doing a lot. It's got a really good trade volume for its market cap size. It's relatively well known. It has a lot of projects building up onto it. And again, just as a comparison, during the, we'll call it the mini bull run that we had at the end of 24, it hit up already over 3.5x of where we were, and that was the mini bull. Expect to go a lot further than that. So I think this is a great entry, and if I was looking for a spot entry now, of all the ones I've talked about so far, and probably there's one more that I'd put in with this I haven't talked about yet. Of like the top two I would look at getting a spot buy. Aptos, it's one of the two. The other one, I don't want to give a spoiler alert, but if I remember, I'll specify it when we get to it as well. It's in the next category. But Aptos, I think, is worth looking into. If you like safety plays of layer ones and dexes, at least that's where I consider the safest, take a look at Aptos. Next, the small markets that are 100 million to 1 billion. Again, there was so many in this category. I don't think as many good ones in my opinion as in the moderate, but I'll give some quick honorable mentions that, again, these are ones on my list and my watch. They're not quite to the same level as the three I'm going to announce. So honorable mentions: GigaChad, Onyx Coin, Linea, and LCX. If you've heard of any of those before, I think they're worth going back and look into. We got Meme, RWA, Layer 2, and Tokenization Layer 1, respectively, in that order. Let's get into the ones I chose. All right, guys, Beam. This is actually the one I was just talking about. It and Aptos. This would be the two that if I was going to open up a spot bag today, I would pick one of these two. So Beam, number 148, market cap at the 375 million. It has performed very well previously. Again, back at the end of 24, beginning of 25, about a 5x from where it is right now. And this is gaming. It's all about having a bunch of games underneath them, doing funding and advertising for specifically Web3 games, has a deal with Abu Dhabi. They're busy doing so much. And if you look on the 1 month chart, it's erratic as hell. I did not realize that. That's why I look at charts more. This could be fun to do trade. I think one of the biggest things that's holding it back from being as big as it will be is that there's no Coinbase listing. And I'm not going to say it needs a Coinbase listing. I think it will be the catalyst that jumps it going if it doesn't already. But with how well it's done without Coinbase is pretty phenomenal. It is on almost all the other large exchanges. Again, so if you want to dabble into the gaming narrative, I think Beam is a very strong option. Next and quick, again, more that I don't own, Turbo. I've talked about on this channel enough. Again, I don't own it, but I had a great time swing trading it for a while. I'm certainly not against getting back into that. But if you're looking for a steady meme, it's got a huge following. The idea that it was created by AI is kind of cool. It is relatively popular. They're very active on social media. And if you want to break from the standard dog and cats, look into Turbo. You'll hear a lot of people talk about it. And again, crypto's a popularity contest, so people talking about it matters. Multiverse X, market cap of almost 400 million. So I'm not sure if I've talked about this one before on this channel. It's always been like one of the ones that's right behind the ones I'm looking at. It's a strong layer one. It tends to be, though it doesn't look here, relatively stable over time. The year chart shows that a little bit better. Okay, of all time, almost everything looks steady at that point. We're looking at a slightly higher low than where we were before, and I think this one's going to go up quite a bit. I've only not hopped in this one because even less than Aptos, it's not incredibly well known. The volume's a little bit lower, but it's priced to make more sense with the market cap. It's got a steady influx and inflow. It is almost fully diluted. Again, back to safe plays. I think Multiverse X is going to have a good run. Let me know what your thoughts are about it. Okay, guys, we're almost done. So the last category, the micro caps, the ones that are under 100 million. Quick honorable mentions, Alluvium. This one, depending on the day or even the time of day, it might be a moderate. It was like 99 million market cap when I looked at it a little bit ago. But this is also one that I own and have a pretty big bag of, so I have it as honorable mention. There is DGen, another little meme play on base. Forta, which is all about internet security. I actually went with this competitor I'll talk about in a moment. There's Goldfinch, Bankley, Key, and that's the honorable mention list. Let's slam through these last three of the microcaps. First one's Foxy. Full disclosure, this one I do own. It's the only one in this category. Actually, one of two I've talked about that I own. But Foxy, it's a meme. It's a mascot. It is the mascot for Consensus, which is owned by Joe Lubin, who is the co-founder of Ethereum. He also owns Linea, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum. He's involved in Ethereum strategic reserves. And Foxy is the mascot for all of them. It's also the mascot for MetaMask, because they've got a partnership with it. And the MetaMask credit card, I believe it's a MasterCard that relieves Foxy rewards. And there's tons of Foxy airdrops and NFTs, and they do it as way as marketing and advertising for both Foxy and Linea. And we're going to see a lot more about it because Linea just launched, and they have Foxy right on the web page talking about how it's their first meme, their big meme. They're pushing it. But the fact that I know that we're entering altcoin season very soon, you already see the bull market really starting to heat up. The bottom essentially is in. I don't think we're going to hit 2019. We might. I don't think we will. I'm betting on us not. And I think this is going to be the best time to get into Foxy, in my opinion. But if you want to expand your meme game, take a look at Foxy. Next, HFT, hash flow. This is the decentralized DEX, right? It's just a much smaller version of Aerodrome. It has a decentralized exchange. buy, sell, trade, stake, liquidity pool. It is tied into Hedera, into Solana, into Avalanche, into Ethereum, obviously. So you can buy, sell, and trade a lot of those on Hashflow. This is done pretty well in bursts. I owned this one a while back. If we expand to the yearly, yeah, okay, this was around the time where I got out of it. I love to say I got out on the top, but let's be honest, guys, you can't really time the top. I think I got out of it was around 22 cents. So it was on the way down. I don't think it was on the resurgence. Might have been on 1 to 2 backups, but I sold around 22 cents. And ever since it got under 10, I've been keeping my eye onto it. So I think DEXs are great plays because they make money by having money coming in and out, and it's a very usable product. So if you're curious of a much smaller DEX, Hashflow. Last and definitely not least, though I guess that's all arguable, Polyswarm, NCT. So this one I've recently done a video on. I am very actively looking at this one as well with Aptos and Beam, $42 million market cap, just over 2 cents. Not bad trading volume for the market cap, a little lower than I would want to see, but that'll be changing soon. It is a competitive reward-based anti-malware program. Essentially, if you have a malware or a security concern, you send the information via a link or a website into NCT, and then a bunch of competitors try to solve your problem, and they are bidding for the reward, right? They spend a little NCT to enter. They get reward NCT when they fix the problem. So you have multiple people competing to fix security issues. Awesome. It's like the most capitalistic thing you can do decentralized. So NCT, it's a strong narrative that we really need as security. All right, guys, thank you for bearing in with me for this longer video. Like I said earlier, if you liked this and there's some crypto that I did not state that you think I should, put down below. Let's wrap this one up. I'll see you guys later. Peace.